Good afternoon. Secretary State Amore, our awardees, league members, and all who have come to support us. I'm Christine Martone from the League of Women Voters South County, and I'm the president of our chapter. I am once again privileged to welcome you to the 18th annual Susan B. Wilson Awards ceremony. Our league represents the entire state with the granting of these awards, as our efforts include reaching out to the schools throughout the state to invite teachers from all public school systems, as well as private schools and everything in between. And every year I'm awed and inspired by the submissions for consideration, and this year was no different. Our winners have created civics programs for their students that are innovative, motivating, and best of all, reflect the values of Susan B. Wilson, whose name we honor with these awards. Let me tell you a little bit about Susan. Susan B. Wilson was a league member from South County, Narragansett, South Kingstown, I keep doing this, Narragansett chapter, now the South County League, whose approach to civics was hands-on. She was keen to changes in the voting system, and when voting machines were introduced in Rhode Island, she made it her mission to instruct citizens in this state on their use. Her legacy is carried through these awards and represents her commitment to voting rights and the principles of the League of Women Voters. As we all know, the right to vote has been tested throughout the history of this country and continues to be tested today. Although laws have been passed to support voting, those who are intent on disenfranchising some of the population have tried to bend the arc in their direction. But through perseverance, men and women have fought back, recognizing that all citizens of this country have the right to vote. Just as those before us, the League of Women Voters continues to fight to protect our freedom to vote. And so today, I hope you see that the principles of our league are reflected in our awardees, and that you will draw inspiration from them. It is through their efforts that democracy continues to live in their students that they teach, and we thank them.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen Chambers, Chair of the Susan B. Wilson Committee. Welcome, friends, to the 18th Annual Civic Education Awards. Welcome to our esteemed winners and evaluator, their families, friends, and colleagues, to Secretary of State Amore, fellow league members, legislators, and guests. Many thanks to the League of Women Voters Rhode Island Education Fund members and to fellow Wilson Committee members Christine Martone and Nancy McLean, who made this event possible. This year was unusual in that there were more elementary and middle school teacher applications than high school applicants. Also out of the ordinary, there was a larger percentage of grade level and specialist teachers who applied than educators who solely teach history, civics, and social studies. Evaluators and committee members were pleased by the engaging quality of civic education occurring at younger levels and across the school curriculum. I just want to point out we usually have 3 evaluators who take the applications and rank them, and this year, one person had to drop out because of family medical issues. So we do have Dr. Ban here, and our second evaluator, Andy, is playing $4 rounds of golf down in Florida, but he did do the scoring and sent his kind words on the winner. Who would have imagined that in 2025, a teacher could be harassed or possibly lose their job for teaching facts or for encouraging students to learn about and respect diversity. Teachers who incorporate history, social studies, and civics within their curriculum are one of the biggest targets of adults who insist children should be shielded from any historical truth that might hurt their feelings or represent a differing point of view. Each of this year's applicants and winners proved in their written narratives that they will not be cowed into silence from honoring diversity or from teaching truth. They represent the best of American values. It is our honor today to recognize this year's exceptional winners of the Susan B. Wilson Awards. First, it is my pleasure to introduce a champion of civic education, our keynote speaker, Secretary of State Greg Amore, and I believe this is his 4th year with us, perhaps. He loves us. We love him. Elected in 2022, Rhode Island's 30th Secretary of State, Greg Amore, is a proud lifelong resident of East Providence, where he's been a teacher, coach, and community volunteer for over 30 years. Prior to serving as Secretary of State, he taught history, civics, and government courses at East Providence High School for 27 years, and later was District Athletic Administrator. Elected in 2012, he served for 10 years as a state representative for East Providence. We've stated before in this very venue that Secretary Amore is a hero to League of Women Voters Rhode Island members. In concrete ways, he stands and delivers the League's motto, empowering voters, defending democracy. In 2021, he co-sponsored the law requiring proficiency in civics before graduating high school, whereby the League awarded him its Civic Engagement Award. This law helps ensure that future and young voters are empowered with civic knowledge in order to make informed decisions at the voting booth. Secretary Amore continues to visit high school classrooms around Rhode Island to speak about civic engagement, and the Student Civic Liaison Program, which started under him, continues to grow. He promotes Civic Learning Week in March, where students and citizens can take part in online and in-person presentations on a variety of pertinent civic topics. And if you have a chance to take some of those webinars or presentations online, they are really great, especially a lot of them are led by students. When I was in high school, I couldn't have told you who the Secretary of State was, and I bet most of you couldn't either. But I'm certain that a large proportion of Rhode Island high schoolers could name Secretary Amore because of his personal engagement with the schools. Secretary Amore is a champion of protecting voting rights. In 2021 and 2022, he called for the passage of and co-sponsored the Let RI Vote Act, a bill that significantly expanded access to the ballot. That bill became law in 2022. He supports modernizing Rhode Island's electoral process and maximizing voter participation by eliminating the requirement that people must be registered to vote in Rhode Island at least 30 days before an election. Did you know that one of the duties of the Secretary of State is to preserve historic documents and public records and ensure that they are publicly accessible? That duty is especially critical as our country will be celebrating its 250th anniversary 1 year from now. Secretary Amore is chair of the Rhode Island 250 Commission, which consists of 30 appointed members. It is tasked with encouraging civic pride, economic development, and sharing our state's history through organizing and participating in activities marking Rhode Island's role in the American Revolution. The Commission offers a series of free workshops for educators to learn more about key milestones in Rhode Island's history, along with free lessons and resources for use with students. Last month, as chair of the Rhode Island 250 Commission, Secretary Amore unveiled the portrait titled "Brave Men as Ever Fought," which is on loan at the State House from the Museum of the American Revolution through June. The portrait honors the 1st Rhode Island Regiment, consisting of Black and Indigenous men, which joined the Continental Army in 1778. Rhode Island was the first state to authorize a non-white military regiment. Be sure to see it, and I made a mistake here, it's not in the governor's reception room, it's in the Charter Museum.
Yeah,
Yep, around the corner. We had this lovely lady, Christine and I, Martone, just had a little tour with Beverly, who showed us the portrait and the 1636 charter, 63. It's amazing. So before you leave, you're never going to come to the State House again, right? So be sure you go and check it out. The door is open. You don't have to ask anybody. So I was really thrilled to be able to see that picture that was commissioned in 2020. So please welcome our keynote speaker, the Honorable Greg Amore.
Well, Kristen, thank you for the kind introduction, and I'll do my best to get invited back next year. So I've visited over 100 classrooms, mostly high school, but middle school as well. And I'll give you a little taste of what we talk about, not only in the classroom visits, but in our civic leadership program, which we're so proud of, that has hosted over 200 students from all around the state in an immersive program. It's growing, and we're proud of it. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people cannot be sustained if the people do not engage in civic life, if they do not have the requisite knowledge of the foundational principles of American democracy, if they are not aware of the value of a system of checks and balances among the branches of government, if they are not familiar with the precedent-setting cases that have changed the course of American history, if they are not as familiar with their rights under the Bill of Rights as they are with the lyrics of their favorite songs. Abraham Lincoln once said, "This is what we call the essential civic creed of America, fashioned not from divinely revealed truth, but from a solid quarry of reason." Thomas Jefferson's first inaugural included similar sentiments. It included the call for the establishment of a rational political faith that was founded in the essential principles of American government. This civic religion should include perspective that is only gained by the study of history. Shakespeare famously wrote, "Past is prologue." If we are able to lean back on our history to inform decision-making, if we're not able to do that, all of us as Americans, we're condemned to repeat the mistakes of the past. And we are only able to do that if we understand the past. The lessons of the past not only help us to make informed decisions, but they allow us the perspective to place in context today's challenges. Unfortunately, we have seen a steady decay in the people's civic knowledge. And as the scaffolding of historical context begins to break down, passion and propaganda replace perspective. Our civic engagement has suffered as technology has replaced human interaction. Our ability to see the humanity in one another has waned as we socialize less and offer our opinions, informed or otherwise, from the comfort of our keyboards. Memberships in churches, synagogues, mosques, unions, social clubs, cards and bowling leagues, and professional organizations have declined, leaving too many Americans in a bubble, narrowing the perspectives to which they are exposed. Our education system's focus on math and literacy standardized testing and outcomes has placed social studies content on the back burner. And more recently, as was mentioned, our social studies teachers, all of our teachers, have been exposed to media bullying that has made educators gun-shy to tackle, hesitant to really engage in controversial subject matter and in political topics, which in turn limits further inquiry and limits critical thinking. With all that said, I still believe that the United States of America is the last best hope on earth. And because I'm an educator at heart, and because I have a historically informed perspective, I have hope that we will overcome today's challenges and embark on a new era of civic religion and civil civic discourse. I know this because our nation has overcome a great deal. It has overcome a great civil war, 2 world wars, a Great Depression, the internment of innocent American citizens, 2 Red Scares that challenged constitutional underpinnings and pitted neighbor against neighbor. We have confronted the issues surrounding race, which still present challenges, but have steadily, albeit in fits and starts, improved. We have navigated 2 deadly pandemics, large-scale and sometimes violent protests, political assassinations, and bad policy. And in overcoming these challenges, we have added to the Bill of Rights with constitutional amendments that provide equal protection under the law and expand voting rights. We have passed child labor laws, guaranteed public education for every child. We have passed civil rights legislation that combats discrimination, and we've passed legislation that protects our air and water. We fought to defeat fascism in Europe and ushered in the greatest period of peace and prosperity the world has ever known. We have provided safety nets for the poor, the sick, the elderly, and have substantially improved American life and significantly decreased poverty. We have invested in research that has cured deadly diseases and sent men to the stars. And we did these things because we, the people, demanded that we do them. We demanded with our voices and our votes. We demanded with our public discourse and debate. We demanded because we had knowledge of history. We knew our Constitution. We overcame these obstacles because we learned from the past, changed course, and pushed forward. When I speak to Rhode Islanders who may have lost faith in our ability to do big things, or are in despair about an issue, one or the other, or maybe the state of the nation or our state, I remind them that when the great civil rights leader and then Congressman John Lewis lay bloodied and beaten, his skull fractured, watching law enforcement officers beat innocent voting rights protesters around him, he must have been at the lowest of low points in a life which was filled with struggle and oppression. He must have believed that things would never change. But 7 months after Lewis lay bloodied and beaten on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Alabama, a bridge named for a Confederate general and a grand dragon of the KKK, the Voting Rights Act was passed 7 months after that bloody day. He was beaten within an inch of his life, and yet he still had hope that things would improve. We can do big things when we understand what the American heritage and tradition is, and when we lean on our constitutional principles, the principles in the Declaration of Independence. We can and have done great things even during times of division, and we can do better things when we are united in a civic religion. But we have to teach the whole story of American history, and we have to convince Americans that learning and understanding the Constitution is more important to our nation's well-being than any public policy initiative or anything a politician says or does. It is fundamental to the survival of the Republic. As I said, I have visited over 100 classrooms around the state, delivering a lesson on American history, on the history of voting rights, a lesson that is similar to what I'm talking about today. And I am deeply encouraged by the enthusiasm of both teachers and students alike. I am encouraged by our 200+ Rhode Island Civic Leadership students who participated in our Civic Leadership program over the past 2 years. And I'm hopeful because of the people that are here today. That's what gives me hope, and it's real. As Benjamin Franklin said as he was leaving the proceedings in Philadelphia on the last day of the Constitutional Convention, he ran into a fellow Philadelphian, Mrs. Powell, and she said, "Dr. Franklin, what do we have, a monarchy or a republic?" And Franklin answered, "A republic if you can keep it." The people in this room, the League of Women Voters, and the educators being recognized here today are literally working to keep the republic every single day. They deserve not only our recognition, but they deserve the heartfelt thank you from a grateful nation and state that needs all the history, civics, social studies teachers it can get. They are the preachers of our civic religion. Thank you to all who are here today. Congratulations to those of you who are being recognized here today. And I do have a citation for the awardees that I will read from so that you get I don't know where, oh, right here. So they get a taste of what this, that's if I can read it without my glasses. The font on that speech was 18, so. The State of Rhode Island Department of State, Gregor Maury, Secretary of State. Be it hereby known to all that I, Gregor Maury, Secretary of State of the State of Rhode Island, offer my congratulations on receiving the Susan B. Wilson Award, sponsored by the South County League of Women Voters. Thank you for incorporating civic education into your curriculum. Your efforts to teach students about democracy and how civic engagement helps to sustain this collective premise of society is vital. Our children are our future leaders. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Andy Robinson, down in Florida, he really was sorry he could not be here. He's very enthusiastic. We only met him on Zoom and then through some emails. And Andy graduated from Providence College with a degree in U.S. history. He was a public school social studies teacher for 30 years, serving 25 of those years at Narragansett Junior-Senior High School from 1975 to 2000. He was social studies department head at the school as well. He introduced many new programs to Narragansett High School, including Project Close-Up, the Rhode Island Mock Trial Program, the Junior Achievement Applied Economics course, and the Youth and the Law course. Andy has been active in community service all his life. Even in retirement, he is a huge supporter of anything associated with Narragansett schools and its students. He's a former member of the Narragansett Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and was awarded the James Kelso Community Service Award. He currently works on Elks Club community projects and serves in a financial capacity with his church. Andy states, however, I took the most satisfaction in the teaching of civics and political science. These courses are the essence of the entire social studies department. I'm reading what Andy has written for our third place honorable mention awardee, Christine Costa of Tiverton Middle School. This year, the South County League of Women Voters proudly presents the Susan Wilson Civics Education Honorable Mention Award to a woman who has proudly served as a sixth grade social studies teacher at the Tiverton Middle School for almost 3 decades, Miss Christine Costa. Throughout her career, Christine has developed numerous ways to keep her sixth grade students engaged in civic learning experiences. She has introduced mock elections, Civic Learning Week, and Law Day programs in her classroom and throughout her school. Ms. Costa has served as the mock trial advisor for several years at both Tiverton Middle School and Tiverton High School. The mock trial program needs the support of great teachers, schools, community leaders, and educational leaders statewide, because you know Andy was involved in that as well. With nearly 3 decades in the classroom, Christine is taking great strides to stay current with all of the great changes taking place in civic education. She recently participated in a summer workshop entitled Courts and Schools, Civics Education Initiatives at the Rhode Island Supreme Court. She also served as a community partner to develop the first Rhode Island Civic Health Index. Christine has spread her wings way beyond Tiverton. Since 2022, she has been a member of the iCivics Educator Network, sharing best practices with civics teachers and a nationwide professional learning community. During her summers, Christine devotes her time to the iCivics Design Squad, which provides feedback on new resources and simulations to ensure that they meet the needs of students and teachers. Christine is a problem solver. She recently detected a problem in her community and engaged her sixth grade students to help solve the problem in their hometown. Her students met with Secretary of State Amore and peppered him with questions based on their research. Classroom study provided the students with an understanding of the expansion of voting rights through an examination of various amendments to the United States Constitution. An analysis of the RI state maps revealed that Tiverton had the second lowest rate of voting in the East Bay. The solution: target Tiverton High School seniors, visitors to the Tiverton Town Hall, and their own families. Her students were introduced to computer graphics programs and generated infographics encouraging people to register and then to vote. These professional-looking infographics were displayed at Tiverton High School and the Tiverton Town Hall and shared with the students' families. Student-prepared surveys were also shared with families. Mock elections were held in the school using the actual ballot readers from the Secretary of State's office. This entire program to increase voter participation in her community was written up in the USA Today's Back to School magazine. There were a number of excellent applications submitted this year to the South County League of Women Voters. Personally, Andy says, I was very proud to see the work being done in classrooms around our state to engage students as critical thinkers and as participants in our political process. The quality of the competition this year makes the presentation of the Susan Wilson Civic Education Award to Christine Costa even more noteworthy. Christine, thank you for the work that you do with your sixth grade students, and thank you for the work that you do to improve social studies teaching at the state and national level. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I get to do that name for me. All right, up on top. Thank you. Do I do this one? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Rhode Island for this honorable mention for the Susan B. Wilson Award. This recognition is very meaningful as it honors the legacy of a woman who championed civic education and engagement. Like Susan B. Wilson, the educators present today are passionate about educating students to be civic-minded and engaged citizens. As a sixth grade teacher, I have the privilege of instructing my students to take an active role in their school and local community while developing their awareness of civic rights and responsibilities as citizens. I'm fortunate to work with students who strive to make, want me to pick this up? Sorry about that. I'm fortunate to work with students who strive to make a positive impact in their communities. They have participated in mock elections, interacted with civic leaders such as Secretary of State Greg Amore, and researched voter turnout rates in the East Bay. They utilize their knowledge to create infographics highlighting the importance of voting and the various methods of casting a vote. They shared their infographics with Tiverton High School seniors, conducted interviews, and encouraged the next generation of voters to voice their choice. Their infographics were also displayed, as mentioned before, in the Tiverton Town Hall to encourage our community to participate in the election. I'm grateful to be a teacher in the Tiverton School District, working under the leadership of my superintendent, Dr. Peter Sanchioni, Principal Andy Zatoli, and Vice Principal Scott Kellett, who all value and support civic education. I also appreciate the love and encouragement from my family. Thank you once again to the League of Women Voters of Rhode Island for this recognition. It is a true honor to be acknowledged for work that I find so deeply rewarding and vital for the future of our communities. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Dr. Kimberly Bean. She'll be introducing our next two awardees. Dr. Kim Bean received her BS from URI's College of Education with a major in elementary education and a major in communicative disorders with an emphasis on speech and language pathology. She received an MS in administration at Rhode Island College and her Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership from Johnson & Wales University. And I meant to ask, were you born in Rhode Island too? Okay, so a Rhode Island girl. Kimberly was a teacher and later grade leader at Gaudette Middle School in Middletown, where she designed and delivered curriculum for the lab sciences of ecology, chemistry, physical science, biology, and earth and space science. She completed a year-long residency at Gaudette and obtained her Rhode Island Elementary Middle Principal certification. As a Kennedy Principal Fellow Mentor, she was responsible for the development of mentoring programs for school administrators. Kimberly served as principal at the Underwood, Cary, and Pell Elementary Schools in Newport. From 2016 to 2021, Kimberly served as the Assistant Superintendent of the Newport School Department. She is currently an adjunct professor at Salva Regina University, where she teaches courses designed for teacher education candidates on math, race and inequity, and social studies method in education. Kimberly will be introducing both the second and first place winners. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here today and very honored to have been asked to participate in the selection and reading of the applications. It really was a joy to read so many incredible projects. It was really hard, to score and to select because they were all so amazing. So the jury prize for the 2025 Susan Wilson Civic Education Merit Award goes to Diane Randall of the Compass School. Congratulations, Diane. Good. So as the art teacher at the Compass School, Diane's work with her students really blows away our stereotypical concept of school art teachers. With Diane, art is not a segregated subject, but an integral component of the entire school curriculum. Art is used as a vehicle for improving literacy, critical thinking, and verbal skills. Diane cultivates creative expression while empowering her students to engage with civic and social responsibility through art education. Diane's passion for civic education and historical awareness led her to take a central role at the Compass School's participation in the Witness Stones Project. This is where it gets very interesting. So, an initiative that restores the history and honors the humanity of enslaved individuals who helped build Rhode Island's communities. By guiding students through historical research, creative interpretation, and public memorization, Diane ensures that art serves as both a vehicle for the storytelling and a tool for justice. Under her mentorship, students analyze primary sources, they develop critical thinking skills, and they created artistic and written reflections on the lives of those enslaved individuals. So it was through this Witness Stone project that students have joined in partnership with the Witness Stone staff and Kingston Congregational Church. The collaboration has enabled students further to engage with historians, faith leaders, scholars, and enriching their understanding of the past while also contributing to a broader movement of historical truth and reconciliation. In a culminating ceremony in commemoration of the enslaved individuals they had researched, the students were able to share publicly what they had learned via art, song, and oral presentation. Diane's work has been featured on NPR's All Things Considered and the Connecticut's Public Unforgotten series, showcasing the classroom impact of the Witness Stones project. For 2025, Diane will continue to lead the school's involvement in the Witness Stone project with a team of teachers, ensuring that the project remains a cornerstone of the Compass School's civic education curriculum. Beyond her work with the Witness Stone Project, for the past 5 years, she's also had the time to organize a school's annual food drive to support the Johnny Cake Center for Hope, a local food pantry. The most recent drive, they were able to collect 500 pounds of food for families in need. By rallying students, staff, and families around a tangible, community-driven initiative, she has demonstrated a power of collective action in addressing pressing social issues and reinforced the importance of service learning as an essential component of education. Diane's dedication to art and civic engagement stands as a testament to the role that education can play in the remembrance, the social change, and community service. And her students carry that impact with them long after they leave her classroom. I have no doubt of that. So thank you so much, Diane. Congratulations.
I mean, all kinds of things for you. Okay. Awesome. Are you going to say your words? Yes, I am. I'm going to put this right here. All right, thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon. I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm deeply honored to be among the recipients of the Susan B. Wilson Civic Education Merit Award. Organizations like the League of Women Voters of Rhode Island, who are dedicated to recognizing and honoring Rhode Island teachers, illuminate the importance of teaching young people their role in our country's democracy, and also illuminate the positive power the smallest acts can have on the world in which they live. In my classroom, I have a painting of Mahatma Gandhi, a famous historical leader who influenced the world for good, coupled with one of his famous quotes, "In a gentle way, you can shake the world." This quote highlights the power of gentle and persistent action in creating positive change, and is a reminder that even the smallest gestures of civic engagement are impactful and not only make a difference in the lives of those in our communities, but also in the ones who are courageous to lovingly create and take action. I accept this award on behalf of the teachers, administrators, and students at the Compass School who helped to create positive change through small and big acts, particularly through initiatives like the Witness Stones Project, whose mission is to honor the lives and the legacy of people who were enslaved, who won their freedom, and who were the cornerstone of building thriving communities in which they lived. In collaboration with my creative and open-hearted colleagues, students, and leaders beyond the classroom in our community, students are guided to think critically, question, contemplate, and discuss our local history to form their own thinking. All of this is done through unearthing and researching primary documents found and gathered from our community's local libraries, historical documents, probate documents, and courts of law. Taking a deep dive into our past forms our reality today and how we collectively can make it better. All teachers who partner in this kind of important civic work are brave to unlearn, relearn, that is free of assumptions, free of judgments, and most importantly, greeted with open hearts and minds. I'm honored to walk along with you all on this journey of teaching our students how to think and make sense of the world they live in and make it better and stronger. I'd like to thank Brandy Lepiski, Compass School Director, who nominated me for this award, and Abby Colby Cooper for showcasing the important civic engagement work that myself and all my colleagues at the Compass School do every day. Lastly, I would like to congratulate all the teachers who are honored today, and to every Rhode Island teacher who works tirelessly to teach our future leaders, craftspeople, journeymen, frontline workers, and every young person who will contribute to moving our world forward and who will make this world a better place than how they find it today through grand and simple acts. Thank you.
Diane has a couple of her representatives here that would like to present her citation. So,
Yeah, so go with you. All right. Middle. I'm in the middle. All right.
so that's good.
You did such a great job that both of us had to come.
I know. That's right.
Carol represents the area where Compass School is, and Diane is a neighbor of mine and a Plum Beach member as well.
Yeah.
That's real South County.
That is.
This is a citation from the Rhode Island House of Representatives. And it acknowledges and cites you, and with the sincerest congratulations on behalf of the House of Representatives, to you as being recognized with the distinguished honor of being awarded the 18th Annual Susan B. Wilson Jury Prize Award through the League of Women Voters of Rhode Island by helping students understand and their own civic rights and responsibilities. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your work.
Very much. Thank you for coming. It's in here. Congratulations. Thank you so much. All right.
I guess I wasn't asked to go golfing, so I'm back up. So again, I'm so thrilled to be presenting the grand prize winner this afternoon. The League of Women Voters of South County are a dedicated group, and they're dedicated to the education of all Rhode Island students on the importance of voter education and also civic engagement. And so what an authentic way of highlighting teachers who are doing this work than through recognizing you with this Susan B. Wilson Award. So as mentioned earlier, as an educator, administrator, and I'm currently a professor in education, I was really encouraged to see that democracy is not only alive and well, but it is being taught and explained in so many creative and innovative and very thoughtful ways. While reading the grand prize winner application, I was really struck by her ability to include so many children in her project in such a range of grades. But what really stood out for me was her realism. She said, and I quote, "At a time when freedoms are being stripped away, especially when it comes to books and education about anything related to race, racism, and Black history, this project is crucial to our students' development and empowerment as young, civically engaged leaders," end quote. That really stuck out to me. This year's grand prize winner goes to Janine Lee. Congratulations. Her project was truly inspirational by her ability to use art, music, literature, and incorporate civic engagement in such a thoughtful way. This project allowed students to explore and understand the role that civic engagement can shape society. Janine has given opportunities to students through several programs over the years. She's very involved in connecting Kingian nonviolence principles are infused, helping youth to build community and heightened awareness and understanding while making the civics content more relevant and relatable through the arts. In music dance class, there are opportunities for singing, playing instruments, composing, using diverse music styles and genres that are culturally responsive to students' needs. As a music therapist, Janine brings a background also in art, dance, and recreation and drama. Her love of music, creative and expressive arts, her passion, joy, and commitment to working with youth all come together with her ability to empower. She is able to encourage, work with, build up, and allow the safe space and affirmation that empowers young people to participate in and use the arts and technology as their means of civic expression. So in this project, Janine connected close to 300 students, and she collaborated with the Southside Elementary School and the Community Preparatory School where she's from. This was the first time these two schools worked together on this project, and the principals of each school commended the incredible collaborative efforts. The purpose of the program was to educate students about their history in an empowering way that makes connections between African history prior to the slave trade, slavery in Rhode Island and enslavement, resistance and connections to current disparities and attacks on history and freedom. The program was based off of the 1619 Project children's book, Born on the Water, a vivid history of the Middle Passage and enslavement in America and how it affects African American lineage. After reading and discussing the book, Miss Lee's art students created 2 empowering and informative art installations. The first installation was a graphic design project entitled About the Data. Each student researched statistics on disparities within various societal themes, including health, economics, and incarceration. Using this data collected, they designed data visualization artworks along with title artworks. I wish I could show you the artwork. Anyways, the second installation was a multimedia braid art project entitled From Seeds of Learning to Sculptures of Expression. Students learned about Africans hiding seeds in their intricate hairstyles to transport them from the continent across the ocean. Through the process of putting together the showcase, the project has grown and evolved into including art, dance, movement, instruments, and a live performance that weaves the arts together towards the mutual theme, freedom. Using excerpts from the book, solidified the content and weaved it together in a digestible and inspiring way for all crowds of all ages. Congratulations, Janine. Incredible. You could.
Thanks so much. And you got to that. So, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the introduction. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of South County. I am humbly honored to accept this award alongside these deserving recipients who also are making an impact through civic work. I am very fortunate to teach at Community Preparatory School, where I embrace the mission to empower our diverse student body to reach full academic potential and leadership potential while building a beloved community. I am sincerely thankful to Principal Natalia Corley and Susan B. Wilson First Place Award recipient Hannah Ressiger of Southside Elementary Charter School for the nomination and the chance to be a part of our collaborative civic project. At Community Preparatory School, as students explore diverse civic real-life connections to our local and global community, they simultaneously explore artistic expression through the use, as you heard, of visual art, music, dance, technology, and performing arts. And yes, all the students do all of those. From the classroom to the art gallery and the stage, there are opportunities for artivism, the combination of art and activism for change to bloom. In my classroom, there hangs an original artwork by the artist Joseph Norman. When it was made in 1992, I worked with our students to make paper cutouts of words that represented current civic issues that they hope to address as future leaders. Student issues such as hunger, poverty, homelessness, war, environment, teen pregnancy, hatred, and abuse were just a few of the words that became part of the Joseph Norman artwork. When my current students look at this artwork for them, some of these same issues still exist, and there are even more to add today. This leads them to the awareness and understanding that civic engagement and artivism consist of a wide range of issues that compel our attention and guide our actions. This is why civic education will always be relevant in my work and in our world. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of South County for continuing to recognize the important work being done. Thank you very much.
I don't know about you, but all I can say is wow. I can't believe the work that was done. Thank you all for all that hard work. I know that it will mean a lot to all of your students and does. So I'd like to thank all of you for attending, especially we thank Secretary Amore for his keynote address, always on point and wonderful. Thank you. Also, I'd like to thank Kristen Chambers and Nancy McLean for their dedication and efforts to make this ceremony a success, and the League of Women Voters Rhode Island Education Fund for supporting us in this yearly event, and the South County League members who helped and supported Kristen and Nancy. Lastly, I want to thank Dylan, who's been with us now for 3 years, and we're hoping he'll stay forever. Thank you all.